Hi, my name is Vanessa van Dijk, and in this video we're looking into how long you need to wait between your glycolic acid toner and niacinamide serum. Now, when googling this, there are articles where it mentions that you need to wait 30 minutes in between, since when applying your glycolic acid toner to the skin, which has already a low pH, it's going to lower the pH of the skin, and then when applying your niacinamide serum too soon afterwards, this can change the pH of niacinamide, and therefore you can potentially lose some of the benefits that niacinamide offers, or even experiencing redness, so you're experiencing skin flushing. Now, what you have to keep in mind is that you're not just using pure glycolic acid or pure niacinamide. They are already in a stable formulation. So your glycolic acid toner is already in a stable formulation to keep the pH low. But the same applies to niacinamide. Niacinamide is in a formulation so that it cannot get easily out of its pH range that it needs. And so for this to happen, you would really need quite a lot of product, or at the same time even a lot of time from this to change. And so when just using the right amount so that it can properly absorb into the skin, so that nothing is going to sit on the skin surface, overall you just need to wait 30 seconds to a minute, and then there you go. So this really changes the entire picture or how you're going to use those products, and therefore I want to include a little example routine as well. But I believe nowadays with social media, when applying the products to the skin, most of those people are going to overdo it. You're using quite a lot of glycolic acid, quite a lot of niacinamide, and therefore the chances of experiencing such signs can be much greater. But if you're going to reduce the amount, and you're doing this in real life, you first of all can not only reduce signs of sensitivity from the products individually, but you're making sure that they're not going to interact with one another at the same time. And so therefore I want to share with you a little demonstration as well. And then later on at the end of the video, I do want to emphasize some additional points to what you have to keep in mind when working with those products. So overall, you can use them in the same routine. When using them in the same routine, it's going to be an evening skincare routine, since glycolic acid, exfoliating acids in general, should be used in the evening. So I'm going to go with an evening skincare routine. And the most important step when getting started, where I believe most of you are making the mistakes as well, is with your cleansing step. Not only should you choose the right cleanser, but the step after a cleansing step before applying your glycolic acid product to the skin is essential as well. So when it comes to the cleansing step, make sure that you're choosing the right cleanser. First of all, work with non-exfoliating acid cleansers. So avoid cleansers containing salicylic acid, glycolic acid, or lactic acid, like in general AHA or BHA, because you're already using an exfoliant. Then when you are washing your face in the evening, you need to adjust your cleanser accordingly what you're trying to remove. So if you have one stubborn sunscreen, like a mineral sunscreen, and or makeup that's waterproof or extremely pigmented, well then your regular cleanser isn't able to properly take it off. Therefore you want to work with an oil or balm cleanser in between. So this is going to be your first cleansing step then right here. You can use your oil or balm cleanser on its own if that's enough for you, or maybe you want to do a double cleanse, then this is the first cleanser that you're choosing. Then when it comes to the regular cleanser, in case you do not wear stubborn sunscreen or makeup, it comes off with your regular cleanser, that's completely fine. Just work with your regular cleanser, and in that case make sure that you're using a regular cleanser, so a non-exfoliating acid cleanser that's suitable for your skin type. So this is already some of the most important points that you need to do in the beginning of your evening skincare routine. And so I'm now going to quickly show you the washing part as well, because the next step is the most important point too. So I'm going to use Cetaphil's Daily Facial Cleanser, which is suitable for combination to oily skin. Most often they will emphasize on the back of the packaging to apply to wet skin. So at first make sure to wet your face and neck with lukewarm water, then use about 1 to 2 pumps of cleanser, massage it all over your face and neck for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then again rinse it off with lukewarm water. Now in between, which I can highly recommend, especially when doing this above the sink, use a fresh washcloth, those makeup microfiber cloths in between, which can help you to properly remove any last traces of sunscreen, makeup, or even just your cleanser, so that you can properly take everything off the skin. So let's go ahead and do this. So about that much, more or less. So, and once you have massaged your cleanser all over your face and neck for about 30 seconds to a minute, now again, rinse everything off with lukewarm water and use a washcloth in between when doing this above the sink. So once you're done with your cleansing step, now there is an important point that you need to do in between your cleansing step and before applying your glycolic acid toner to the skin. And this is, now take a clean towel and gently pat all over your face and neck to properly remove the remaining water drops on the skin surface. Please do not apply your skincare products to wet skin, because this is only creating more sensitivity, skincare peeling, and overall can create an uncomfortable layering part when doing your skincare routine. So this is an essential step to do in between. Now once you have removed the remaining water drops on the skin surface, this now refers to damp skin, because my skin was able to absorb some water while I was washing my face with my cleanser. And so when now moving immediately onto your glycolic acid toner, it's completely fine, go ahead and do so if you tolerate it well. However, if you should have sensitive skin, you want to avoid applying your skincare products specifically with a high percentage like glycolic acid to damp skin. Instead, wait 5 to 10 minutes in between so that your skin starts to dry, and then move on to the application of your glycolic acid toner, because the drier the skin is, the slower it absorbs into the skin. So if you're applying your skincare products to damp skin, it absorbs pretty fast to the skin, can be more effective, but the risk of experiencing sensitivity is much greater. So if you're applying it to dry skin, the risk of experiencing sensitivity is much lower. So you need to adjust it depending on how your skin is going to respond to the glycolic acid toner that you're having at home. Now, when moving on to your glycolic acid toner, I do have some examples right here. Of course, the overall general guide would also work well if your toner is called liquid, or maybe if you have a glycolic acid serum. Usually those have a very thin water-like texture that absorbs quite easily into the skin. So if you should have a glycolic acid toner, or in general AHA, BHA, like Cosrx treatment, exfoliating toner right here, that comes in a spray bottle, used between 3 to 5 swits in the palm of your hand and then evenly blend it all over. If you should have a glycolic acid product that comes with a pump, use between 1 to 2 pumps. And if you should have a glycolic acid toner that comes with an opening like this, or like a smaller kind of like usual toner opening where you can count 2 drops when dispensing the product on the palm of your hand, well then use between 5 to 10 drops. Now start off with 5. If that shouldn't be enough, you can increase it up to 10. It also varies a bit depending on if you just want to use it on your face or your neck as well, or what the texture is going to be of your glycolic acid toner. But overall, this would be the general guide that you can follow, so that you have enough product to evenly and thinly blend it all over, but at the same time it is able to quickly absorb into the skin. So there isn't any chance that like a thick layer of glycolic acid is going to sit on the skin surface. This is what you're trying to avoid. So therefore the amount of product that you're going to use plays an important role. Not only if there is a small chance still to interact with niacinamide if you would use way too much, but at the same time the more product you're going to use of your treatments, the more likely you can come across sensitivity. So therefore keep this in mind. And then blend it all over your face and or neck. Just make sure to not use it on top of your eyelids. Do not use it too close to the actual lower lash line, and check if you can use it on the eye contour, or if it mentions that you should avoid the eye contour, then please follow that specific guide. Now, in case you should be a bit more sensitive around the nose, then of course go ahead and avoid this part right here. This is very individual, and please do not use such high strength of glycolic acid toner on your lips, because this is going to create sensitivity. Now get it into your mouth. So, and once you have applied it all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. So you just saw with the amount of product that I've used, I had enough to blend it evenly all over my face and neck, and it has already pretty much absorbed into the skin. So that's what I've meant. It absorbs very fast into the skin if you're using the right amount, and specifically if we're talking about such a more water-like liquidish texture. So in general, once you have applied your glycolic acid toner to the skin, you're going to give it a moment to absorb into the skin, which is about the 30 seconds to a minute guide, before you're going to apply your niacinamide serum on top. And so this has already happened, so I'm now going to immediately move on to the niacinamide serum. I have some examples right here. Of course, if you have a different one, same would apply when it comes to the glycolic acid toner. Just exchange it, it won't change the step. And so I'm going to use this niacinamide serum right here. As a general guide, niacinamide usually have is basically a water-based serum, and it has like a stickier, more thicker texture, or even to more of a water-like texture. So as a general guide, go with about 3 to 5 drops for your face and neck. So again, that you're using like enough product to evenly and thinly apply it all over, but you do not want to coat it on. It should absorb into the skin. Then rub it between your hands and then evenly blend it all over. Again, make sure to not get it into your eyes nor into your mouth, nor use it on top of your eyelids or too close to the lower lash line, especially if you're dealing with a tan like 15 or even 20% niacinamide serum. So, and once you have applied it all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now, of course, you can stop right here if that's going to be the last step of your evening skincare routine, or follow on with a moisturizer if you should feel the need. If you want to move on to a moisturizer, just make sure that your niacinamide serum again has enough time to absorb into the skin, so about those 30 seconds to a minute, and then head into the next step. And then there you go, and you can see it layers well. I do not have any layering issues. It feels comfortable on the skin, not sticky, not too heavy. And so those are the important points that you need to do when layering your skincare products in general. Always make sure to use the right amount, and that you're going to give it like about that waiting time in between. I just emphasized if you're working with cream products, maybe a bit longer, but overall so that the product can absorb into the skin and kind of set before moving on to the next step. Now, there are other points that I do want to emphasize, that in case you have already done this specific guide that I've just emphasized, but you still come across sensitivity, there are other points that you need to consider. It's not necessarily the combination that you've done. I mean, it could, because glycolic acid removes the dead skin cells from the skin surface, so when applying your niacinamide serum on top, this can absorb much better into the skin, and therefore it can be quite potent for you, and therefore you can be experiencing sensitivity. So this may be one of the concerns. But the other points that I want to emphasize is you have to consider the formulation of your glycolic acid product. So this can be toner, liquid, or serum. Not only does the strength play an important role, like what's the percentage of glycolic acid, but the overall formulation as well, because there are formulations that are quite potent and other ones are a bit more gentle on the skin. So if you're experiencing sensitivity with your current glycolic acid product, you may want to look into a different percentage, you may want to look into a different formulation, or if that still doesn't work, then you're just reacting sensitive to glycolic acid, and then you may want to look into lactic acid or mandelic acid instead, which are other AHAs but way gentler on the skin compared to glycolic acid. So that's one point. Same would apply to niacinamide when it comes to the overall formulation and the strength that's being used, because nowadays you can find niacinamide serums on the market that contain 10%, 15%, or even 20%, which can be quite a lot depending on how your skin is going to respond to it, and even in combination with your glycolic acid. So if that should be your concern, if your niacinamide is way too strong, or if it's way too strong when using it in combination with your glycolic acid, well then look into a lower percentage, or look into a brightening serum that contains like several brightening ingredients in one, including niacinamide, because then it usually contains way less than the 10%. And so there you can already reduce signs of sensitivity, so that you're making sure that you're going to adjust your skincare routine accordingly to what your skin tolerates and what your skin actually needs. And so those are the points points that I really want to emphasize when doing this combination at home. And of course, feel free to try it out at home and keep the points in mind that I have just emphasized. Now, if you want to, again, go over the example routines in your own time, you want to see the entire PowerPoint again, step by step in your own time, you want to save it to your device, you will be able, as always, download it in the description box down below. But still, if you enjoyed this video, if you find it helpful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up as well as share it. And if you now want to learn more about skincare, I'm going to leave some of the videos at the end of this video so that you can keep on watching. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye.